Hello peoples off the tube and welcome back to Janwhoary, the only month that I was able to sort of fit the word who into and not have it sound awkward. It was going to be February, but I can't say it without that awkward pause. And my life motto has always been, if you can't say it with ease, pick another month, please. Oddly, that motto has never been useful until right now. So today's video is kind of an odd one in the sense that, by my standards, it's painfully normal. Today I'd like to tell you all about my top 10 Daleks. The top 10 Daleks. And if you're a regular viewer, you're probably thinking, at this point in the video, usually if I say something like that, that's when I get interrupted and it doesn't happen. But no, I genuinely am doing a video. I just wanted to tell you what my favourite Daleks are. This is a video where I tell you that. And I am aware that I tend to waffle quite a lot if I'm talking about something that I'm really enthusiastic about. And 10 Daleks is quite a lot. I feel if I'm going full explanation as to why I like the Dalek for 10 of them, it's going to get a bit repetitive, it's going to be quite long. So I have already filmed the introduction to this video and edited the title card. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to kind of go quite swiftly through telling you Daleks 10 through 6, just telling you which Daleks they are. And then for Daleks 5 through 1, I'll elaborate a bit more. I think that seems like a good system. That means the video will be a bit more swift, a bit less bloated, and we can all get on with our day. And you'll know what my top Daleks are. So it's a win for all of us. So the number 10 Dalek is the Supreme Dalek from Journey's End. You might be able to tell from my display that I do tend to prefer the classic series Daleks to the new series Daleks. There's only got one up there. I mean, I do have other, they're mostly not in this room. I prefer the classic series Daleks. I think the cleaner lines and the more simple, minimalist look, I like that. But as new series Daleks go, the Journey's End Dalek, the red one, I think it looks really cool. I wish I had an action figure of one, but I don't. I nearly got one in the summer, and then I didn't. Number 9 is the Supreme from the Dalek Invasion of Earth. He's just over there next to me. I think he looks really nice. I like that 60s colour scheme. I think Daleks look great in black. I think that's probably my favourite black Dalek. I'm saying that I think there are more black Daleks on the list, but I think he's a really nice Dalek. I think he looks great. The other Daleks in that story look good. The silver one looks nice. The silver stripy black one looks quite nice, but I think all in black, I just think it looks nice. Number 8 is a sort of standard 60s Dalek with the slats, but with the original style gun, which would sort of be from the chase through to Dalek Master Plan. I think that's quite an iconic combination. I think that if people think of a 60s Dalek, that's kind of the standard 60s Dalek, and yeah, I think that's a nice Dalek. That's my 8th favourite Dalek. Number 7 is the original Dead Planet style Dalek. He's just over there. He's essentially the same as my number 8 choice, except without the slats. I think they look better without the slats. I think the sort of simpler look to them. I just quite like the sort of minimalist, clean look on a Dalek. I think the simpler the better, and I think the slats look cool, but they're just extra detail that I prefer them without. And number 6 is a bit of an odd choice. It's the Destiny style, of which there are 4. There are 3 Daleks in that story with a light grey and black hemispheres colour scheme, one of which has a sort of light grey waistband and light grey slats. One of them has a light grey waistband and black slats. One has a black waistband but the black slats and the little black circle in the front of them. So those 3 are all different. Plus there's one that's just the old style darker grey and black. The light grey and black I think looks really nice. I think out of the 3 in the new colour scheme with the lighter grey, I think my favourite is the one with all light grey except for the hemispheres. I think that's the best design of the 3. But the colour scheme looks really nice in all 3 versions. They're let down a lot by the fact that props are really scruffy in that story, and the fact that it's not a very good story, but the actual colour scheme I really like. It's a shame that that's the only story we really saw that one in. So now we're into my top 5 Daleks, for which I have props. My number 5 pick is the Genesis style Dalek. This colour scheme is seen in a lot of other stories in the 70s with minor variations, a slightly darker version in Day of the Daleks, then a slightly lighter one in Planet, various levels of metallicness. I think the Genesis version is, I just think that looks the best. Doesn't that look great? It looks, I just love it. You know, they continued on that sort of style of Dalek into the 80s with minor variations. They changed up what the guns were like, and the eye stalks changed in Resurrection. And the colour was a less dark grey. I just think this darker metallic grey, sort of gunmetal, I just think it looks so good. I think the Daleks look really imposing like this. I wish they were still this colour. I'd be really happy if this was the current Dalek design. Even you know, down to the sort of the classic proportions and the smoother dome. I think they look. I think they really hold up. I think that looks great. Look at that. Look at that Dalek. Isn't he nice? See, I told you I was going to get really enthusiastic. My favourites, I just really like. I think that's fantastic. But that's only my number 5 Dalek. There are other Daleks that I like more than this, even though this is really good. Kerry Blyton music intensifies. Number 4, it's the Death to the Daleks Dalek. Again, look, I mean, that looks fantastic. I just love the black and the silver in that sort of arrangement with the black midsection, the silver bands, the black hemispheres. It just looks really good. And the special shooty gun instead of the ray gun, I think that looks really cool. It's just a bit different, a bit unique. I like them with the orange lights. I think there's only one in that story has orange lights. The rest are white lights. This was my first classic Dalek figure I ever had. I've only got one from this story. They did one with the ray gun and the clear lights. I don't have that. I imagine B&M will probably do some more versions. Hopefully not any more with the orange lights, because you only need one orange one. But we'll see. I'll happily buy more of the. I just think they look great. And I think having that little bit of blue left over, when the rest of it's just all silver and black. Again, it's a design that we only saw once. And I think that's a real shame, because it looks really, really good. It's another one that I'd really happily see brought back as like the permanent colour scheme. We've had them gold and bronze for so long. Give us some Genesis colour, or some Destiny colour. Destiny colour, sure, or some Death colour. I love that. I think that's great. But that's still not my favourite. We've got others that I like even more than this. So let's have a look. So now that we're into the top 3, these are the Daleks that I tend to tell people are my favourite Daleks. I generally don't specify, oh, this is my 3rd favourite Dalek. I just say this is my favourite Dalek, because unless I'm telling you about all of my favourites at once, I don't really need to put them into order. But I will put them into order for you. The first of my favourite Daleks, but it's not really my favourite, it's my 3rd favourite, is the Planet Supreme. I'm just going to put him close to the camera, because you might remember I got this from Sewage for my Christmas about a year ago, and I'd wanted it for so long because it's my favourite Dalek. It just looks fantastic. The weird eye with the torch in it, the jam jar-ish lights, which unfortunately on mine are slightly faded. They should be pink, and they've kind of faded to an orange. I got it second hand. This one actually was in quite bad condition. I've done some repairs on it. There was a lot of orange scarts. You can just about see them because I sort of sharpied over them. I do actually have paint. I could probably do a better repair job of that now, but I don't know if I'm going to. So you might already know the backstory to this particular Dalek. There are other videos out there that are more informative and instructional about Dalek prop history than this one. This is just me fangirling over the designs. But if you want to see another one, I'll pop a link up in the description to a more in-depth Dalek prop history. But basically, this started off as one of the movie props, which then was given to Terry Nation and adapted for some project or another, and ended up looking like this, and then got borrowed back to use in Planet of the Daleks. So that's why it's got the movie style base. It should have the parallel gun boxes that I was talking about in my Dalek versus Dalek last year. But the action figure, it's just an action figure. They're not going to do minor differences like that. But they did give it these unusual neck rings, sort of flat neck rings, and no up and down the way spokes. So it's a very unique looking Dalek, and I think that's what I like about it. So that's my number 3. Number 2 is another one that I would love to see as the current colour scheme of the Daleks. It's a shame that we never really got more than 2 stories where that was the colour scheme. The other one, of course, being the Necros Daleks from Revelation of the Daleks. The Remembrance style Imperial Dalek, though, is my favourite of the 2 cream and gold styles. I just think that looks amazing. I got this action figure last year. This is the new B&M version with the better everything, and it's got the mesh, but you can't really see unless you look really close. It's autofocus. I just think that's lovely. I got this as a present from Al Dior, but that's a secret, so don't tell anyone. But I'm really glad to actually have a figure of one of these now, because the earlier figures, which I think weren't quite as good, I kept missing them. The first version that came packaged with McCoy, it had this gun, this sort of straighter style of gun, but instead of having the proper plunger, it just had, with the cone-shaped attachment, it just had a normal plunger with like notches cut out of it, which was a bit of a cheat. And it also had a blue iris for some reason. And then the next version, which was in a set of 4, it had the right style of attachment instead of the plunger, but they had the earlier style of gun. And for some reason a teeny tiny little eye sock, which looked really silly. And I was going to get that set, and there was just circumstances I just missed out on it, and it really bugged me, because I was in Forbidden Planet, I saw them, but someone else said that they were going to be getting me a thing, and I said, okay, I'd like that. So I was like, well, I'm not going to buy that today because someone else is buying that for me. Then I found out that he wasn't able to find one. I was like, oh, well, I better go and get it myself then. I went and it was sold out, and that was, yeah, then just no Imperial Daleks until I got this one. So it's a lovely thing to have. I think that colour scheme looks fantastic. The sort of simplified slat arrangement, the little flat eye lights. I just think the whole thing looks really, really good. Obviously, the actual props have a slightly different shape of base. They're skinnier. This is an approximation. But I love the Imperial Daleks. Again, I'd love to see them back as the de facto current Dalek. I don't think we're ever going to. But these are great. I think, aren't these nice? Look at that Dalek. This is a great excuse to just show off my Dalek figures, because I've got so many of them. I've like in the last year, I bought too many Daleks. Very quickly, before we go to my number 1 Dalek, I do want to have one honourable mention, because the Special Weapons Dalek is the coolest thing ever, but I can't. It would be in my top 10. It's too far removed from a Dalek to be there. I know. I think the furthest away, like I would count this from Resolution, but it's not in my top 10. I would count the ones from the New Year episode. That's close enough to a Dalek to count. This is just I like it, but I wouldn't count Emperor Davros or the other Emperor. The other Emperor. They're also, they wouldn't be valid for consideration. This is my favourite, not quite a Dalek. It's really cool, but it's just slightly too far removed from the basic Dalek silhouette for me to count it on this list. But I wanted to say that I love the Special Weapons Dalek. I think it's fantastic. It's great. I like the fact we have seen it a few times recently. But again, it would be nice if we had the Imperials back as the current Dalek. Then this could just hang out with them. Or, you know what? I'd quite happily see a new series style with I think that would work quite well with bronze and gold. And you wouldn't really need to change much. You maybe put some like the modern style hemispheres with the sort of double ring thing going on. But yeah, I love this. I think this is great. And so we get on to my number 1 choice, which won't be a surprise to anyone that's been following what I was up to last year. It's obvious, it's a movie, Peter Cushing movie style Dalek / the chase Jungles of Mechanus for legal reasons. I love this so much. I just think they're fantastic. Obviously, last year I made this bigger one. Everything about these is just perfect. Obviously, from my point of view, the very first Doctor Who related thing I ever saw was Doctor Who and the Daleks. Long before I knew Doctor Who was a TV series or anything like that, I saw the film. I really liked it, and this was what Daleks looked like to me for years. This is just Daleks are this, and I like the simplified design. And I think again, this being my first exposure to Daleks, that's sort of set in my head. This sort of simplified look is what they should look like. The colours are bold but not over the top. The lack of the slats I said earlier, I think they look better without slats. The big chunky lights, I love them with their claws, which is why I'm glad I made my one, because the action figures don't have the claws. I love them so much. The blue, the metallic blue and the not metallic blue and the sort of silver all over. There's nothing about these that I think doesn't work. I love the lights, the big jam jar lights, the better on this one. I know I did a whole video comparing this to well, I don't think I had this one back then. It was the previous version of this one. And I've got now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Daleks in this colour scheme, and I couldn't have too many. They're so good. I love them. I mean, there's not much more I can say other than this looks great. I love it. I'm really pleased that I was able to make one and then immediately have 3 more released by Character Options in this colour scheme. The silver and blue ones from the second Cusick films really just look like the TV ones from Dalek Invasion of Earth with slats and slightly different. Like they don't look unique enough, and I think it's the uniqueness about them that makes these my favourite. And I think that's why if I was somehow in charge and I could bring back any classic Dalek colour scheme / design, it wouldn't be this one, because I like the fact it's kind of unique and isolated within its own thing. I think overexposure would kind of lessen the impact of how cool these look. But at the same time, please give us all the merchandise of these. I want to fill my life with just these Daleks everywhere. Everywhere in my life. I love them. They're great. I think they're fantastic. So that's it. That's the video. That was my top 10 Daleks. Technically 11, but let's not split hairs. What are your favourite Dalek designs? Why not leave me a comment to let me know? I'd be interested to hear. And what do you think? What do you think of my picks? Do you like those movie Daleks? Do you think that they're really nice? Do you not? Let me know. But yeah, that's it. Join me next time. This video was a great excuse to show off all like my Doctor Who figures. Maybe that's what my next video is going to be. Maybe I'm just going to show off my Doctor Who figures for a while. You don't know. I know. It might be. But until then, please do come back next week. There is content. Until then, though, thank you for watching and have a Who day. Welcome to bonus content at the end of the video, if you've stuck around this far. Some of these Daleks talk. Some of them the batteries have run out. This one though, this is the most interesting one, because obviously this guy doesn't speak, but he's got the pew, and if you press it twice, there's an explosion. Right, so I mean that's pretty cool in and of itself. But now let's see if I can remember how to do this. Put him off, hold the button, turn him on. Right, now. Oh, well done. Like, does he obey it?
Orders received. Primary target lock acquired. Receiving target coordinates. Seek, locate, destroy. Target vaporized. What is my target? Exterminate. I must exterminate.
I think.
I obey.
Yeah, I think we've heard all of them. So I just think that's really cool. It's a hidden feature. You have to. I don't remember how to turn that back off again. I think maybe you just do the same thing, and no, I don't know how to put it back off again. I just thought that was quite cool. I have a few of these talking Daleks, and some of them need new batteries, so they don't talk anymore. But yeah, I just think that's neat. I just think that's cool. Bye.